right, good Monday morning, everybody. New weather will be live for the next 10 to 20 minutes, talking about the weather for today, next several days into the weekend. And keep in mind, there's only 9 days left this month. I mean, March starts next Wednesday, I believe. Let me just double check that real quick. Next Wednesday is March 1st. Wow. So we're almost done with February, and spring starts officially on March 20th. So we're about a month out from the start of spring, and I'll tell you that the forecast kind of looks like spring. I mean, every single day going forward, starting today and even tomorrow, we're looking at afternoons trending into the 80s, so it's going to be extremely warm for February standards. And right now we're locked in under cloud cover. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. All right, Morgan's Wonderland Camp, Calaveras Lake, the airport, all seeing very comparable conditions, similar sky conditions. You can see mostly cloudy skies. Notice over Morgan's Wonderland Camp, you can see a few breaks in the sky, some blue fighting through on this Monday morning as temperatures are pretty mild. I wouldn't say it's cold, it's just kind of mild out there. We're in the 60s and going to climb into the 70s in the next several hours. All right, before we get to the details on what to expect today, let's chat about the lake level. So far for this winter, since December 1st, we've picked up in San Antonio about 2 to 2.5 inches of rain, which may sound decent. It's not bad, but it's not great either. It's a little below the winter average for where it should be this time of year in the end of February. And notice Canyon Lake, 78% full, not terrible. Texana, 99% full. But when you talk about Medina Lake, that's what kind of grabs your attention, right? So it's down to 6% full, not good at all. If you've seen pictures or video of Medina Lake, it's receding. There's a lot of those ports obviously have the boats and everything, and the water is just dipping down below that. Where the water was very high a couple of years ago, and now it's really starting to come down. The water is receding significantly at Medina Lake. West of San Antonio. So, and that's down for 19% from this time last year. So that right column will show you the 1 year change. Lake Amistad out towards Del Rio, not terrible, 46%. It's kind of medium, right? But overall, not seeing good conditions with our lakes. And that's because of the lack of rainfall last year and the lack of rainfall so far for this winter. Last year was the second driest year on record, which is why we're seeing a pretty bad dip in our lake levels. All right, so freeze update. So far this season, San Antonio starting on December 1st, because we're talking about meteorological winter, we've seen 10 freezes. That's not accounting for the freezes in the hill country. So if you're watching from Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Rock Springs, even towards Boerne, your freezes this season likely above 30, right? Because anywhere northwest of the airport of San Antonio freezes a lot faster, right? So the airport, these are the numbers from the airport, 10 total freezes this season starting on December 1st. The average is around 15, so we're below that. But again, the hill country has seen over 30, likely over 40 freezes so far this season. And the number to look at, the average last freeze is February 24th in San Antonio, so we're almost near that. We're just a few days away from that. But the latest freeze, to kind of put that in perspective, ever recorded in the city was back on 1987 on April 3rd. So we can see freezing temperatures as late as April, early April, and as early as November, right? So we're kind of in the middle to end of February, but the average last freeze typically is February 24th. So we're kind of shifting gears, especially in the outlook for the next several days. Right now it's 70, wow, 69 at Stinson, mostly cloudy. And skies will stay mostly cloudy for the next couple hours. And temperatures pretty mild into warm. We have a south wind. What that's doing is kind of transporting more humidity from the Gulf slightly. That's why our dew points are a little higher, and with more humidity comes the more cloud cover, right? The cloud cover deck at the lower levels. 70 at Boerne, 70 at Bandera. We have 73 at Pearsall. We have about 71 at Victoria, upper 60s between Seguin, Gonzales, Floresville. Similar number. So nothing too cold out there, right? It's pretty mild for a February morning, right? I mean, typically it should be cold in the 40s this time of year in San Antonio, but instead we're in the 70s, right? So 74 at 2. We should top out at 80 degrees today. It says 75, but I need to adjust that. We're forecasting upper 70s to lower 80s this afternoon. And the reason why is because the fog and the clouds that are in place right now should slowly clear. We should see some sunshine towards the back half of this afternoon. But as we go into tonight, into early Tuesday, expect another round of fog. So if you're hoping for the fog to go away, It's not. It was dense this morning. It was patchy to dense. It wasn't too bad. But tomorrow morning, early Tuesday, we're looking at another round of patchy to dense fog, kind of ushering in from the Gulf. More humidity comes in off that south wind, and that's what helps kind of condense out this layer of fog at the surface. Current radar, is it busy? No. You can see in deep South Texas and towards the coastal bend, maybe a few light sprinkles materializing between Corpus Christi, Victoria, I-10, and Houston, but nothing too organized. But big takeaway, if you are traveling down I-10 east towards Houston, you may run into a few droplets on the dash, but otherwise pretty quiet. West Texas, some rain moving into El Paso, New Mexico, but zooming out, the overall pattern fairly quiet. I mean, from coast to coast, from California to Florida to the Northeast, you can see generally quiet conditions, and we're kind of split, right? You can see on this particular map of national temperatures. Anywhere north of Kansas into the Dakotas, the Midwest, we're looking at 30s and 20s. And if you look closer into southern Canada, I mean, they're in the single digits, right? So you can kind of see where that contrast and gradient of the pink color, the more Arctic air is in southern Canada into the provinces of British Columbia, Quebec, and near Toronto. That's where temperatures near Thunder Bay are at 11 degrees at this hour. So not looking forward to any of that. We stay pretty mild. As a matter of fact, watch this. A high pressure ridge from the Caribbean Sea actually moves into the Gulf. We'll show you the timing on that in just a bit, but watch what it does for temperatures. And anywhere from Texas to the Carolinas to Florida, through Wednesday, 80s, upper 70s, unseasonably warm for this time of year. And that's kind of looking forward in time. So this is this Wednesday around 4 or 5 p.m. We're looking at 84 to even near 90 in some spots around San Antonio on Wednesday. A brief cool down on Thursday, but we crank back up by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, as this is the culprit for our next change. I mean, it doesn't do much. It does keep our mornings cloudy, but our afternoons warm and sunny. And as long as this stays near us in the Gulf between Mexico and Florida, it's going to keep things relatively quiet, however, very warm in the south central Texas outlook. So this does not look to break down anytime soon, and most of the colder, more Arctic air, more winter-like air is going to stay between Missouri, pointing farther north in the northern plains, southern Canada, places like that. So that's kind of what to expect, and here is our pattern through the weekend. And remember, March 1st begins on Wednesday. So as we close out this last weekend of February, this weekend, it should be quiet. I mean, high pressure keeps things relatively warm, and temperatures in the 80s, guys. So unfortunately, not much changes, but morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, and that small chance of rain early Wednesday morning. Look at this. 88 is what we're forecasting Wednesday. That could easily be 90. I mean, we may hit our earliest 90-degree day in some time on Wednesday. We'll see what happens. 79 on Thursday, so there's that brief cool down I was mentioning. And then upper 70s by Friday. And this weekend looks fine. A mix of sunshine and clouds, but it'll be dry and it'll be nice. Upper 70s, lower 80s Saturday and Sunday. With the only chance of rain is early Wednesday, but even at that, it's only accounting for a 20% chance for showers, but that's only isolated stuff. All right, so we'll end it on the 7-day. Enjoy today. The clouds should slowly clear to near 80 degrees for your Monday, warmer tomorrow, and near hot on Wednesday with mostly sunny skies midweek, and a brief cool down Thursday and Friday before rebounding temperatures come back Saturday and Sunday. Guys, have a great Monday. Make it a great one. Be safe and have a nice one.